Robots Radio presents...
Baby Beard Media presents a roll-to-cast RPG podcast in the world of Kids on Bikes by Renegade Game Studios. Starring Christopher Bond as Eric Fisher, Phil Harker Smith as Jono Smith, and Sean Fleur as Dickie Morse. Story, GMing, and additional rules by Ellen Graham. Design by Jack Sumner. Music by Paul Goodman. This is Mystery Down Under. Everybody, welcome to an all-new season of Roll to Cast. Yes, that's right.
Season 5.
Season 5.
You got it. It's a new game master, a new setting, but the same old lovable larrikins at Baby Beard Media.
Hello.
And this season, we are playing the game Kids on Bikes, which is written by Jonathan Gilmore and Doug Lavandowski.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love that.
It's I wanted to take a moment to savor that last name.
It's very lavish.
Lavandowski.
Australian.
And our season is called Roll to Cast, A Mystery Down Under. So yes, I am Ellen and I will be your game master for this game. So let's just go around, tell me your names and the first name of the character you're going to be playing.
And do you want the trope or just the name?
Yeah, yes, give me your first name and your trope. And that's it.
Okay.
Not a penny more, not
And
a penny
your
less. Smart ass. Let's start with you, Phil.
Okay, I'm Phil. I'm playing Jono, and I'm a young...
Jono.
And I'm a young provider.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Hi, my name is Chris Bond. I'm going to be playing Eric, who is an athlete.
Which is a trope that we have made up.
It's a homebrew trope.
this
You won't
game.
find it in no Kids on Bikes book, you won't.
Nah, you got to learn from life.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Oh, hola. My name is Dickie, and I am a conspiracy theorist.
And what's your name?
Dickie?
Your name?
Sean.
Sean.
Dickie. No, Sean. Hola.
Oh,
I'm
no.
Sean, and my character's name is Dickie, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, mate.
Oh, no. Sean's finally gone method after all this
I
time.
just don't know. I've just finally gone insane.
So, Kids on Bikes, you might be able to tell from the name. It is a role-playing game that features mainly kids, although you can play as teenagers or adults, and you are basically just real-life people trying to discover otherworldly happenings, goings on. So it's very Stranger Things.
Yes.
Inspired.
Stephen King.
Yep.
Goonies.
80s it's an adventure
Sandlot.
game. Absolutely.
It's what it says on the tin. It's Kids on Bikes.
It's Kids on Bikes. It's kind of supernatural. It's kind of high adventure, but also the kind of the crux of the matter is you're just kids and you got to take on the world. So as you may know, I asked for only their first names and their tropes because we are doing our character creation live in this episode.
Roll to cast first.
Yeah, heretofore, we've always come with our characters rolled and ready to go, but this is a bit more loosey-goosey. So our mystery is set in the fictional town of Warrawirran, Western Australia. Now, Warrawirran is in Wadundiland in Noongar country, which covers the southwest corner of Western Australia. And just as a forefront to this, I would like to acknowledge that although this town is fictional, it takes place on Noongar land, and I would like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We're in a small coastal town. Population is about 1,800. Everyone knows everyone by face. Although what they get up to in the night, in the dark, that's for anyone to find out. And we are setting this story because, as most Kids on Bikes stories are set, you need to be in an era where no one has a smartphone on them.
Yes.
1970. So this is kind of Kids on Bikes, the book. It gives you a little bit of world-building questions. So there's a few questions like where your adventure takes place. We know that. Warrawirin, Western Australia specifically. And the industry our location is best known for. Well, that would be the North Limited Mines employs most of the town of Warrawirin. It is an iron ore mine, and there are deposits just north to the town. What else to know about Warrawirin? The town gets a little bit of tourism during the summer months, as some globetrotters reckon you can't get better waves than down at the beach. And the newly opened Echo Cave has caused stirs in scientific interest in the town.
This one, I really like this note. Yeah, this really intrigues me. Yeah.
But also, like Western Australia, Margaret River has some beautiful caves. And then for you guys, it's the middle of summer. You're on holidays. So
School's out.
School's out. There's only one school as well. But it was a thing where, you would give your kids some money for the tuck shop and they would go there and they would spend the whole day at the beach.
That was pretty much
in summer.
That was my upbringing.
Yeah.
That was just like, all right, off you go, bye.
Plus, there's bugger all to do.
There's bugger all to do. What are you going to steal from someone? Not the linoleum on their floor.
I just got to say, Ellen, it might just be like me putting this on you because of what we're doing, but I can really hear Aussie accent coming
it's
through.
been growing
All of
since
us
the
are just
beginning,
being like,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
I'm playing it up.
Right. I'm not. This is us.
So there's a couple of things left to decide about the town, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what is Warrawirin famous for?
So I had a thought about this, like maybe it's the beach.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with the beach.
Like, does it have a surfing competition?
Surfing or something animal, like dolphins or whales come there.
Okay.
And, like pods that mate or something like that.
I did like just
that.
that cultural thing of having like a little mini competition type thing.
Maybe it's not an international one. Maybe it's a regional surfing
Yeah.
competition.
I'm
I
down with
kind of
surfing.
liked that.
I'm down with surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surfing comp.
A surfing comp, so
competition.
there's good waves out there.
Hell yeah.
And it's kind of water is
Clear
far
water.
to the horizon, but
Yeah.
on a windy day.
And it's like 1 week, like a ton of surfers come
Yes,
into town.
it's a real...
Yeah.
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 It's
and
a,
then it's gone.
it's a real... I
They're
mean...
coming into the warm weather as well, where maybe that competition's coming up.
Yeah.
Bunch of grommets are going to come by and try.
What the hell's a grommet?
A grommet is a young surfer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's from the
learning
Muppets,
stuff.
Chris.
No.
Well, thanks for taking on my suggestion. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
cool.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, a grommet is a young surfer.
Cool.
Grommet.
Yeah.
A
So like
grommet.
under the age of like 15.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we got a surfing competition in a couple of weeks or
Yeah.
month
And,
or two.
it's a real halcyon moment for the town. That you
There are
get-
literally tens of people descend on the town.
Some say the water just happens to
There
get
is-
a bit more raging during that week of competition.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
it's for
There you
for
go.
the competition.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And it's almost as if the excitement of the people coming into the town kind of stirs it up. It's like it's a real frenzy.
I wonder if there's a local champion as well.
Oh, it's me,
Like
mate.
the surfer.
I think there might be like a 40-year-old guru.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
maybe. Yeah.
we can get to that. We can
Okay,
get to
cool,
that.
Cool, cool.
So if the town is famous for this little regional surfing competition that kind of gets everyone, even old Fran at the pub, even she waxes her board off, it gets the whole town excited and the whole kind of community jumping. What is the town infamous for?
That was the beach that Harold Holt disappeared from.
No,
No. Wrong side of the country.
it was in New
Continent.
South Wales.
Yeah.
It's a fictional story.
Do you guys have ideas there?
An infamous...
So you would have to like talk to the locals, to know about it.
I mean, I had an idea that the mining company had a spill or something, or like dumped stuff in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 70s, the regulations are really lax. I don't know. Like that was an idea I thought maybe had
That
marked.
there could be something happening with the mine, whether it's
like some sort of accident where... or
maybe not a loss of life, but
Yeah.
something callous had happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a weird one, and this is something for like international listeners as well. So WA would have been a non-convict settled state. It's a town that was settled by escaped convicts who fled the whole stretch of Australia.
Ah.
So they were like sent. They were transported. It's the name to other parts of Australia as convicts.
And then they
fled from their convict towns over to Western Australia for a new start.
For a new start.
And the idea is that specifically in our town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm basing it off my own hometown, which has a convict buried in a tree.
In a tree.
In a tree.
Yeah.
God, that's fascinating.
Yeah, he died. He was escaping from New South Wales.
Maybe there could be something about a lost highwayman or convict rather who
Like an urban legend.
Yes, but you know, this led to the discovery of the mine.
Yeah.
Iron ore deposits.
I like that.
You know, if you're looking in a certain radius for something and you find something else.
Okay, so the mines were discovered when the state police were looking for an escaped convict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
then-
stumbled upon this.
Iron ore deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's not like that history is a little bit more modern, but there's this kind of emotional link between the status as a harbor for convicts fleeing the eastern side of the country and criminality in more recent history, where like people have always said the town has a bit more of a rough edge than other towns around it, because they say, oh, there were loads of convicts came here years ago.
No wonder
And it
that kid always
persists.
gets into a lot of trouble. He comes from a line of convicts.
He comes from Warrawirran, of course.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
trouble. Of course,
Yeah.
he's trouble.
They make him tougher down at Warrawirran.
If you if you want to escape the law, head to Warrawirran.
Yeah.
If you want to get away, head there.
That's where old Bobby went, and that's how they found the mine when they were doing a manhunt for him.
That's right.
Warrawirran. A lot of convicts, but a ripping beach competition.
Yeah, love it.
We've got a notable local organisation. It's the North Limited
North Limited Mine Company.
Mines. And we've also got Echo Cave. But is there another notable landmark in Warrawirran?
What about like a rock off the coast?
That's what I was thinking. Like the pillar or the obelisk or something like that.
Sugarloaf Rock or something.
Yeah.
Me by the rock after school.
Well, I think it's just off the coast, right?
Oh, so it's emerging out of the water.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh,
Kinda like the,
I was thinking like a place like that
Well,
kids
that's
could
cool too,
like
yeah.
meet by. It's like even if it is like slightly in the water, it's still a place that you could like traverse on like little rocks and
Yeah.
get
Maybe
there.
when
It's
the
like a
tide's
little-
out, you can get up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'd like it to defy expectation. So, like, if it's on the water, like, all the rocks around it have eroded, but it's still up
Yeah.
for some reason.
And you can
whether
only
it's-
get there at low tide.
Yeah, I like the idea that there's like a time that you can get there,
Yeah.
and that's what's
And-
cool about it.
The parents are always like, don't go out
Don't
there.
do that.
The tide will come in, you'll get stuck.
It's almost like an initiation for some kids. And
Yes.
it's like, oh, you want to be part of our group? Go to the rock then.
Iron would oxidate, right?
Yes.
Would rust.
Yeah.
So, if it was bright red, it's the red rock.
the red
yeah.
rock.
The Red Rock.
And
Red
it's-
rock?
Yeah, the red rock. And it's
Yeah.
this oxidized iron ore rusted thing.
Yeah.
And you can only get to it at low tide, and it sticks out like a
Sore thumb.
like a
red rock.
like
like a
a
literal sore thumb.
like a
Yeah.
shark's tooth.
It's a
Oh,
little.
yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say the thumb thing, like a little sore thumb.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what locals describe it as.
Sticks out like a sore thumb.
Sticks out like a
Yeah.
Came up with that myself. No, you didn't, Barry.
No.
People have been saying that for years. No, I've been here for years, and I've been saying it for years.
Yeah, it's been me. I've been saying it.
I'm people.
Is that the official name? The Red Rock?
The Red
Or is that
Rock.
what- just
Yeah.
what the
The Red
kids
Rock.
call it?
I think that's
if you
Red
say
Rock.
the red rock, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I love
Yeah,
that.
cool.
I really love that. What is your sports team called?
The red. No.
So in Australia, is it the same? Do your high schools have sports teams have names?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we kind of have I would say the main sport of Australia is footy, but it's not footy as anyone else in the world knows it. It's not football soccer, and it's not football rugby to America.
It's not gridiron.
Nope, it's
No.
something else entirely. It's called. I think it's Australian
rules football.
Football.
Yep.
It's a weird thing. I don't care.
a weird
for
hybrid
it.
game.
Yeah. So AFL is very particular to Melbourne and the East Coast. There's less teams as you go wester.
Yes.
More west. The other sport that would be very popular would be cricket.
Ah,
Are the teams are they animal names in Australia? Like, I'm just asking because I don't
Yeah.
know so
Some are.
much.
Some are.
Are
but
there
I-
are there others like lightning and jet and
Yeah.
that sort of
Like
thing
more
as
abstract
well?
ideas.
And others
Yeah.
just use the school name.
That's no fun.
I mean, I've got.
So
I've got animal in my head. Like
Yeah, what do you got?
I've always liked the idea of a team called the Wombats. And then you go, oh, the Wombies. You know, the Wombies. The
Warrawirran
Wombats.
And then colloquially, it's, oh, the Wombies are playing this weekend.
Yeah. And no one can fucking say it.
Warrawirran
Wombats.
Wombats.
Warrawearin wombats.
That's Warrawearin wombats. Yeah.
Perfect. I love
Great.
that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Great.
There's a lot of rumors that travel fast in towns like this, mainly because you can only communicate by traveling to someone and telling them the news. And so it's always filtered through a friend of a friend or
Gossip at the pub.
Joanne's sister's auntie. So what rumors exist in this town? Now let's go around and you each get to add one rumor.
And these may or may not be true.
And
We
they
don't
may-
know.
They
We don't
may
know
be
that.
true.
Yeah.
They may not be. It's kind of up to me.
I heard that there's a spot in Echo Cave where instead of your voice echoing back, it answers back instead. Mark swears up and down. He went in, said, "G'day, mate." And the cave said, "How's it going?"
Oh,
That's honestly very scary, and I love that.
bloody ripper.
You ripper!
I have one. It's said by
Oh, yeah.
a drunk said when he went down to the cove at night and looked at the red rock, it glowed.
What, in the night? Just glow, just lit up.
Okay.
Well, he said it looked redder than usual.
In his words. Oh, looked a
Oh.
bit
How much did he...
redder.
How
He
much
had a
grog
lot-
did he add?
He'd had a lot to drink.
Oh,
but-
I don't believe that for a second.
Now, Ellen,
Yeah,
does the principal or the headmaster have a name?
he does indeed.
Certainly does.
Good.
Yeah.
I've got a few.
He's got a bit of a
interesting-
reputation.
He does, and he's got a very interesting physical characteristic. Bill Woolley, and he's in his 70s, although kids don't really know what his age is. They say
Yeah.
he's over 100. They say he's been teaching for,
He's an immortal vampire.
decades. But he's a constant in the town, and it seems that everyone was taught by him at some point or another. Despite, or perhaps because of this, it's hard to pinpoint any facts about him. You've got, people talking about his missing eye. People say it was lost in a war, taken by a vicious lover, or an ex-student that never lived to tell the tale.
Pecked out by a magpie, that's what I heard.
Yeah. Well, see, I heard Principal Woolley, every Friday night, he doesn't go home. He goes to that abandoned house just on the edge of town and doesn't come back out until Saturday morning. And no one knows why.
Who said that? Do you see him go in there?
I'm not telling you.
Fuck, man, you're full of shit, man.
No, mate. No, it's the truth.
Get out of the pub, kid.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is Warrawearin. It's a very rough place, but it's also very rich, full of lots of characters.
Great.
Now, we get on to who you guys are.
Yay!
Your characters. And as we said, some of this character creation is yet to happen. Now, we've said our tropes, but I think now is a bit of time to talk about the strengths and flaws.
And our key stats as
Yes,
well, I
what
guess,
you're
yeah.
best at and what you're most shit at. Who wants to kick it off?
Sure. I'm happy
You
to
know,
go first.
Sean?
Yeah. Dickie, he was born Richard, but no one calls him Richard. He's
Oh,
Dickie.
no.
Always Dickie. Dickie to his mum, Dickie to his friends, Dickie to you and me. He is 10 years old. Keen-eyed observers will note that generally the conspiracy theorist is denoted as being either a teen or adult. This is a little kiddie conspiracy theorist.
So we have three categories of character.
Yes.
Child, teen, adult. And they have
Yes.
slight mechanical differences.
And I
So you're
said
a
no
child.
adults.
Yes, no adult. So yeah, he's 10 years old. He loves a good conspiracy theory. He does not shut up. Look,
What is
I
it
can-
like? Is it UFOs? Is it cryptid monsters?
It's things
Is it...
he reads about and hears. He'll just spur just interesting things, whether they're like rumors on the town, or it's interesting facts about animals.
Does he have a pet one though? Like
There's a dog
Like,
at
is it-
home. He does have a
no,
dog.
no. Is there? Sorry. Is there a pet theory? Like, is it aliens? Is it mummies in Egypt? Is there
Well-
one that he is like really?
Oh yeah, yeah. You want to know about it?
Yeah.
yeah. So. Like, you know that president, right? The prime minister, sorry. The one
Yeah.
that went swimming and went missing.
Harold Holt.
Yeah. He didn't actually go missing. He actually, he went to a little island and he started his own new civilization. And so whenever people go missing, that's where they go to.
He's like King Holt.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
everyone that ever goes missing, they don't go missing. They're new people that go to that island. So there's like a whole nother civilization.
Bloody
Dickie,
oath.
did you make that up? Dickie?
No. No, no, I read it. And he kind of, he hopes, Dickie hopes that he's actually like, the island is somewhere near
West
Warwick.
Yeah.
Out in the... So that's why he kind of spends a lot of time at the beach as well. He loves to explore. So he's a big explorer. That's
Lovely.
why one of his strengths is the treasure hunter. And what that does mechanically is allows you to spend 2 adversity tokens to potentially find something in your surroundings of use.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Adversity tokens, just to jump off that quickly, there's something that come up in the game when you fail a difficulty check. So if you fail something, then you get a little adversity token to spend the next time you want to do a check. It's a way to encourage kind of
Doing shit.
exploring
Yeah.
and failing.
I imagine, right, one of the things that Dickie might have to do to get his stories and his ideas is read newspapers, which would be really weird for a 10-year-old, right?
To
to
'cause he
always
doesn't
have your nose in a paper.
Oh,
He
yeah.
doesn't have the internet.
Exactly.
And
no
No
one
one
has the
does.
the thing is, he is constantly like bullied. He's not a social
Yeah, okay.
creature. Like it is so, and that's why his other strength is unassuming. Dickie doesn't have a lot of charm, and this is also why. And he's also not very intimidating. So his brawn is his D4 stat, is his lowest stat, and his highest is his flight. So even though his mouth gets himself into a lot of trouble because he's just annoying and he talks a lot and he doesn't shut up and he's really blunt.
And he's
he'll just
scrawny as
he'll
well.
just look
Yeah.
at you and he'd just be like, "You don't have a lot of hair, you know that?"
No
Yeah.
filter.
Like
Oh,
no
okay,
fear.
yeah.
And it's not through any malicious intent. He just sees things and says it. But that gets him into a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. His mouth is fast, but his feet are faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's blunt and pretty not, let's say, not a high EQ, probably. What are his flaws specifically in the
So
game?
his flaws specifically is being blunt.
Mm-hmm.
So bluntness, he will just say stuff. And also he's very demanding. So especially when he gets very kind of heated and he's like put under the pump, he will just like be like, just stick his feet in the ground and be like, "No, give it to me now."
Yeah.
Lovely. Cool. Chris, do you want to kick it off?
Sure. Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm playing Eric. Eric is an athlete.
How old are you?
Eric is 16.
Okay.
He's
He's
a
a
teen.
teen.
Can you
Yes.
tell me a bit more about, is it like track and field? Are you on the sports team?
It's track and field.
Track and field.
Nice.
Cool.
He's a runner.
He's a runner.
Oh, okay.
Question: long distance or intervals?
Sprints. No, it's long distance.
Right. Oh, okay. So he keeps going and going
Keeps
and
going.
So, what are your strengths, Eric?
Eric's strengths are that he is cool under pressure.
And how does that work in the game?
You can spend
I
an
picked them-
adversity token to take half of the die's value instead of rolling on a snap decision. So there's 2 kind of decisions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's planned actions, and you don't roll, you can take half of your die's value. So if
Okay.
you got a
Choose to, yeah.
if you've got a D20 in something and you only needed a 5, you're just like, well, there's no
I'll take a
crunch.
10.
Yeah. A snap decision is something that's happening in the moment. You need to roll for that.
Okay, cool.
So you can take 10s or take half values on snaps.
But you do have to spend an adversity token to do that.
Yeah,
Right.
to remain cool under pressure.
Yes.
And he's also easygoing, which again, I picked both of those, cool under pressure and easygoing.
Easy
because
going,
they-
you can get 2 adversity tokens when you fail instead of 1.
Oh, nice.
So that's great.
So you roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also rebellious because he's a teen. I get that
Which
for
is
free.
free.
Yeah.
You get rebellious.
Oh,
for
no,
all
right.
teens are inherently rebellious.
if they want to be.
yes.
Yes. You get +1 to persuade.
Oh yeah, +3. Add +3 to
threes.
rolls when persuading or resisting persuasion from children. Add +3 to rolls when resisting persuasion from adults. So you can persuade children very easily or resist because they're kids. They don't know their, they don't know their asshole from their ear hole. Essentially, they're not going to.
Good phrase.
Thank you,
Eric, come on.
No.
But you can't. It's harder for you to persuade an adult because you're just some, shit-nosed teen. But if they are trying to persuade you, you've got that little bit of kickback. You're like, no, I'm not going to listen to you.
Cool.
I'm going to do what you're going to do. Great. And what's your flaws?
Well, Eric's flaws are that he is envious
Interesting.
and he's insecure.
Oh.
They go hand in hand, really, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really interesting character. Sometimes it just gnaws at him that he, he wants to be like like the other teens, like the other kids, or
We'll see. We'll see what happens in this
So you
background.
don't want to reveal too much about what you're envious of particularly yet?
Well,
Or you don't
I'm
sure
interested
yet?
for that to be flexible.
Yeah, how that works
depending
maybe in
on
our
questions.
relationship.
Depends
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
relationship.
nice.
So I'm keeping that open.
Then what's your D20?
My
Your
D20 is
strongest.
flight.
flight. Ooh.
course.
We're both speedy boys.
Of course.
Am I
Well,
weakest?
yes.
Brain.
Real smooth brain energy.
Smooth
Well,
brain.
the smoother the brain, the
more
faster
aerodynamic.
the faster the thoughts. It's more aerodynamic. You got to get those wrinkles out.
It makes sense.
Getting
So
all
Eric
those,
has very simple, very fast
getting
thoughts.
all of those
Yes.
thoughts trapped in your brain with all those wrinkles. You just want it nice and smooth.
But that
Oh,
also
that my
makes sense why
problem.
he's so easygoing.
You know when people nod and you know they haven't taken on board, you're just like,
Do you mean me?
yeah. You're like, they didn't understand. Okay.
I've already asked them to repeat it twice. I can't do it again. Phil.
So
Tell
I've
us
got
more.
Jono. I think he was probably a bit resistant to being called Jono initially. His dad, they've come over, his family have come over from England, so I don't have to play up my accent too much. I think his accent would have maybe drifted Australian growing
Absolutely.
up there. Like, he's not super recent. Came there when, like, he was a kid and his young sister was a baby, essentially, with his dad.
Would they be a 5-pound pom?
10-pound pom?
It's a 5 or 10.
So what is, for our unaware listener, what is a X-pound pom?
An X-pound
A
pom.
10-pound
yeah.
pom
10
is
pound.
the colloquial term used for describe citizens who have come from Britain to Australia or New Zealand, and this denotes the cost of the ticket. My family are 10-pound poms.
Yeah.
So
So usually
true.
with the promise of like work, and they would be like, and there's a house here for you as well, et cetera, et cetera.
So it's Jono, his dad, and his young sister, who is now sort of a child, like a 5-year-old. She was very young when they came over. And that means he, as I said, is a young provider. His dad works in the mine. He has to help with his sister and help support his dad, who is dealing with some of the stuff from their past. So
Yeah.
that's why he's a young provider.
How old is Jono?
He's 15.
15. And how old is his sister? Who's his sister? Tell me a bit about her.
5, her name's Isabel.
Oh, Isabel.
Yeah. And she is growing up to be a bit of a tomboy.
She seems like a handful for
Yeah,
you.
that's right. And he's 15. He's trying to look out for her, and he feels the weight of that, right? So his strength is that he's protective. So when he's looking out for his friends or his family, he gets a +3 to any role that he's using to protect the people in his life.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I was a little bit unsure of, actually. So I
Yeah.
sort of left that open a little bit more. Maybe he's loyal.
Yeah.
His family's had to have to kind of stay as a unit, and that has meant like the strength of that carries him through. Does that sound about
Oh,
right?
that
sounds right.
makes total
Yeah.
sense to
Yeah.
me.
Remind me how loyal works.
Loyal means that each of the adversity tokens you spend to help your friends gives them a +2 instead of a 1.
The character concept is all about helping others. Yeah.
Yeah.
So his flaws is that he's restless.
Yep.
So he feels very constrained by the responsibilities that he already has, and he is sort of like at the whim of things outside his control. So he wants to kind of have more of his own life. That makes him really restless and
Yeah.
and antsy sometimes. And then he's stubborn
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
because he's had to harden a little bit early.
Yep.
So those are his flaws.
Lovely. Can you tell me a bit about your strongest stat and your weakest stat?
Strongest stat is grit.
Right. So grit is kind of like it's your character's ability to kind of be tough. It's not about
Not necessarily physically.
no,
so.
but kind of more emotionally, mentally.
Resist persuasion.
Yep.
And stand your ground in fearful situations, that sort of thing. Stick to your guns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
D4?
Flight. So he doesn't run away from things.
He doesn't back down.
He can't. And it's less of a like, oh, he's too heavy to run away. And it's more like running away is just the last instinct in his mind.
Well, that is very interesting.
Well,
as
Chris
we've
and I
got-
will be running.
as we've got two characters who are heavy flight and one who digs his heels in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Stand behind me.
yeah, so
Make a run for it. Make a run for it. I'll hold them off.
Or stand behind me. Hey, where'd you go?
before we get into the rolling of questions about
Yeah.
each character, how do you guys know each other?
So 16, Eric, 16 and 15.
15, Jono.
So we could be in the same year.
I think we're in the same year.
We're in the same year.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's not so specific year levels
Yeah.
that we would know
Primary
kids,
school, high
teens.
school.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Sure.
I was going to say, because one thing I did mention is I have a single mum, and
Right.
she's a teacher at the school.
Okay.
And I was going to say that she could teach your class. So she often, you'll see
Lovely.
me come in sometimes, or you'll see her live. Like, I think that's...
What does she teach? Do you know?
She teaches English.
Oh, that's why he's a nerd.
Yeah.
Ah.
What's her name?
Mildred.
Mildred.
Mildred. I love it.
Mildred, the
Lovely. So
English
Mildred
teacher.
teaches English,
Yeah.
and so you kind of hang around a
Yeah.
little bit.
Especially if he's gotten into trouble and needs to be pulled out of class, or he might actually have to be like in the classroom just doing his own thing.
Is Dad around as well?
No.
Okay. Oh, single mum. You just said. Sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe Jono gets like into trouble sometimes because of his restlessness, and he ends up in detention. And maybe Mildred holds detention some days. So there's Mildred and you.
Yeah.
You
If
can't
it's
go
after,
home.
if it's after school, because also his sister is just off doing her own thing as well, because she's very kind of out of sight, out of mind. So she's not going to look after Dickie.
How
So
old's the
No.
sister?
sister is 15.
What's this character's
What's
name?
her name?
Jessica.
Are you interested in Jessica?
I might want to try and date
Wait,
Jessica.
did you say 16?
I said 15, but I'm
15.
happy to put it at... Actually, let's chuck it at 16, just so she's on the cusp of that more rebellious
Yeah.
age. Because Jessica's not going to look after Dickie.
No, she's,
yeah,
she's a bit
exactly.
too cool for you.
Yeah, no. And so he
Maybe
doesn't...
under duress, under certain circumstances, and she complains about it a lot.
If the mum has to like bargain for it as well.
yeah, oh
as
my
that,
god,
like,
that whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, you'll get an extra couple of hours with your friends watching the TV or whatever, and Dickie's not allowed to be there, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah,
So
Yeah.
for Dickie, single mum, Mildred.
Yep. Mildred,
Jessica.
Mildred works at the school. Jessica's a sister.
Yep.
It's also important to note that Dad's out of the picture because
I was gonna
they
say.
just divorced and left.
Right.
He left the picture. He's not in the picture. However, that's not what Dickie thinks happened. Dickie thinks he's on the island.
Interesting.
Okay, that's really tragic.
That's sad.
Oh god.
And a scandal for a divorcee.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
this would be a thing that's not really spoken about.
I have a couple of proposals, right? So there's the interest in Jessica there, and I thought maybe Jono's dad. What's a good name for him?
Go with something classic English.
Charles.
Charles.
White Charles.
William.
Maybe Will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill.
William.
Will.
John.
Yeah.
Single father. I'm John.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
William. William or Will.
You
Yeah.
could be John Jr.
Jojo.
Maybe. How old's Mildred?
Mildred is...
Oh, you trying to pair everyone up?
Yeah, maybe.
Mildred is...
They might be friends though, rather than maybe because they're both single parents, and maybe that's a thing that people like. Oh, are they going to get together?
Yeah,
Mildred-
pair
And
off the
actually,
squares.
no.
Mildred's 42.
Right, and really, they talk to each other because they have similar struggles.
Yeah,
They're
Yeah.
both single
they
parents.
can't talk to anyone else.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, is something happening? But no, not really.
Both similar
But
parents with kids that get into trouble a bit.
yeah, but I don't think that means that Dickie and Jono are necessarily close.
I don't think so.
No.
But they're in the orbit because
They're aware of who each other are.
parents know
Yeah.
each other. Yeah, so I don't think they're close, but maybe there's a link there because their parents talk to each other.
So is it Eric who's got the hots for Jessica?
Almost certainly, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Eric does have the hots for Jessica.
Wonder
But
how Jessica feels about it.
yeah, it's not like it's just like, she's cute.
And I'm happy to leave it up to you how Jessica feels about
Absolutely,
Eric.
I will
don't-
take that.
Because Dickie wouldn't know. Dickie doesn't talk to Jessica about that.
Have you maybe tried to make friends with Dickie as a way to get...
No.
Because someone needs to know Dickie strongly.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, do they?
I know.
There
I
needs to
don't
be
know.
one close
no.
relationship.
Do they have to be? I don't know
There
if they
has
have
to be
close.
one close relationship.
Does it say
and
close?
it's not you two.
Oh, it could be us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking
You're in
that
the
So
same-
you're
you're
in the same
class.
year.
Yeah, I'm
So
thinking.
you
But
don't
doesn't-
need to
doesn't-
necessarily know.
But doesn't Dickie need to be tied to someone strongly? Each character should have at least one meaningful connection to another character.
Yes,
So you're classmates, but I have to have a connection to.
one of us.
Could you possibly be like cultivating a strong relationship with me in hopes of getting closer with Jessica?
Or if you don't like that, maybe you just spend time at the house anyway.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Do you want to tell us, maybe this will help? Can you tell us a bit more about Eric's home life?
Yeah, so that's sort of what I was getting to.
Okay.
So Eric has a mum and a dad. He's an only child. His mum is called Kelly. His dad is Kenneth. So it's
The Kens.
it's
Ken and Kelly?
Ken and Kelly.
Kelly.
I've decided that I want to tie my character together. That Kenneth is not a good father and is quite a violent father, and Kelly is long suffering.
It's not a happy marriage.
It's not a happy marriage. It's not a happy family.
Yep.
Kenneth spends a lot of time in the mines. He's not bright, and he doesn't understand a lot, and so he lashes out.
He snaps.
Yeah, he snaps. He gets angry.
Do you maybe spend days at Jessica's
This is exactly
house?
what the thing is. So Eric spends a lot of time at track. He spends a lot of time doing laps, trying to get faster, trying to get better. He just spends a lot of time running in circles. Yeah.
Sorry.
I think this way for characters.
Yeah. No, it's great.
And the few times he isn't there, he's probably with what's Sean, your character's last name? Dickie's last name.
Undecided.
Okay.
We'll have to see based on what happens.
But Ms. Mildred's home.
Milfstrid.
Sorry, Miss Mildred's home, because he needs to do remedial classes to catch up, because Eric is not bright. Eric is a fixture at your dining room table.
Well, I was going to say,
with books.
Mildred would definitely be like, you're here, stay for dinner.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Come here for dinner. You'll
So
have a meal with
And
us.
you're like, they're like, I really want to get to know Jessica more. And instead...
Not really.
No?
It's. I don't think I super have the hots for her. I think it's just she's nice and
She's nice to you.
Cool.
she's
Right.
nice.
You might be one person that she's nice to, because I don't see Jessica as a particularly nice sister. She's very kind of elitist in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
but I can see maybe her having a soft spot for you.
I don't even think she has a soft spot. I think she's just elitist, and Eric is like, yeah, that's better than
It's
home.
better than nothing.
It's that blind teenage love is like, I really like Jessica. And it's like, she's a horrible person. It's like, I like Jessica. And there's like literally no rhyme
It's
or
just-
reason to it.
Jessica is not my dad. My dad is the worst.
Yeah.
So anything is a step
I don't
up.
think it's romance. I think it's just he likes her.
Yeah.
He just thinks she's nice.
And so for Dickie, is this just kind of a person who's there to hear all of your theories?
Oh,
A person who stays at the house and
you know
doesn't
what?
leave?
If Dickie says theories, Eric buys them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Eric's
really?
on board.
Sisters, Jessica's not going to
Because
listen.
your D4 brains. you're just
And
like,
the mum doesn't have the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't have the time to just sit. She's like, I love you, Dickie, but I don't have the time.
So-
I've got papers
so
to
Dickie
grade. I
welcome
got.
distraction from your reading comprehension as well. You're like trying to get through this freaking book, and then Dickie's like, "Oh, did you hear?"
I like the idea of Mildred being like, "So Eric, did you finish the reading?" No, but Dickie told me that frogs have different colors.
When they're afraid, like they have mood, they're like mood rings.
Yeah.
You leave that boy alone.
So
He's got work to do.
So just
it's
to
interesting.
clarify, we've got God. So Jono, you obviously know Eric because you're in the same year level.
We hang out after school, maybe.
Yep.
Are you? Okay, we need to just sort of define this relationship. a bit
Sure,
more.
yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
to interrupt.
No,
you.
that's all right.
So, like, because I don't really know Dickie, we have to have some sort
We
of
have to have a strong one.
closer relationship.
Yeah. What was your character sort of be like at school? Does he focus or does he goof off?
So he's focused on his schoolwork, but he's also outside of that. He's reckless and restless because he needs to kind of break out a little bit more.
Okay. Even though he's old, Jono's younger, Eric looks up to Jono and hangs around him in a hope of getting smarter and being as cool as him.
And Jono is someone who naturally reaches out to help people.
Great.
There you
So
go.
if he saw you struggling at school, he'd be like, "Oh no, don't worry, man, I'll help you."
Yeah,
Great.
and Eric is just like, yeah, man, that's cool.
So we've got Jono and Eric. Jono has kind of accepted Eric into the fold. Jono also doesn't really know Dickie, but
We know of each other.
but his
He's there at the front
father,
of class during
William,
detention.
does know Mildred,
Yes.
Dickie's mother.
Yeah.
and
they're
also, my
friends.
mum runs detention, and so sometimes he has to be there after school as well.
Yes, absolutely. Dickie, obviously, you see Eric all the time.
Yep.
He's at your house, and,
And it's a body for Dickie to be able to talk to and spurt all his theories that his sister won't listen to and his mum can't listen to.
perfect. So we've got how these people vaguely know each other. Let us
Rolling.
roll some questions. So let's kick it off. Dickie,
Hello. What am I doing? I am
You are-
answering a question about.
about Eric.
Okay.
So you roll a d20.
I'm rolling.
Positive first.
Yes.
This is a positive thing about
Yep.
Eric. Oh, my lucky number 4.
4. What trait about Eric that Eric hates do you genuinely appreciate?
What trait does Eric hate about himself that Dickie really likes? Oh no, that's not really a trait. Can you talk to me about some of your traits there, Mr. Eric?
Sure. So Eric is a very astute listener. He's very focused, but his comprehension isn't so great. He's very dedicated and very not stubborn, but he's very diligent.
Single-minded?
He's single-minded. He's also very relaxed and very chilled. So if he doesn't get something right, he doesn't get frustrated or bummed out. He's just like, oh well.
What doesn't he like about himself?
He probably doesn't like that he's not smart, and he knows that. He doesn't like that he doesn't get things. He doesn't like that he misses out on stuff. It doesn't frustrate him. It rolls off, but he's like, oh man, I wish I was smart.
See, Dickie would rather not be in school. He would rather go off adventuring. He would rather not have to be bogged down with schoolwork. So to have someone that sometimes, Mum has said, I just don't know if he's going to stick in school. Like, I just don't know if he has
Right.
He's going to finish high school.
And he's like, oh man, I wish I could just not be smart. I wish I could not be good at school because I could just go out and go adventuring. I could find my dad. I
Yep.
could do all these things. Yeah.
And your mum probably pushes you a little bit.
Bet school doesn't teach you the truth either.
No, exactly.
All right.
He's a red pill kid. No.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Cut that.
Not cut
Now, Sean, roll another D20 for me.
that. 18.
You hurt this character years ago. Why can't you apologize?
I hurt this character years ago.
Remember, you can knock back a question if you don't think
I
it's
refuse
Yes.
to knock back a question. I'm absolutely going to ask it. I threw a dare with friends that I wanted to get in with. He sabotaged a test. Basically, he had like a lot of correct answers and such. He swapped the tests with another kid to help another kid.
because you have access to the marks.
Yep.
Wow.
And maybe that set up just set up this complex. He's like, I tried really hard.
Oh, no.
I know, I'm so sure that I got these right. But then to find out, nope, you were very wrong. He's like, well,
You dented his confidence.
I can't apologize for that. I
that's
can't ever
tragic.
admit that.
Wow.
And the tragic thing about that is, after all that, the kids didn't let him in the group anyway.
Oh.
Gosh. That's awful. All
That's
right.
awful. I love it.
Yes, perfect. Roll another D20 for me. We're going to answer a question in terms of Dickie's relationship to Jono, a character you don't know. So we're reading off a different list here.
Okay.
Oh, so
We just do one this time.
So my
Yes, just
test
one.
was sabotage. Is that right?
yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You thought you did well on a test for
Because
once.
you
had,
yeah.
and then
And
he
this was a
used his
few years
access
ago.
to the marks.
This was a few years ago.
yeah to the
help
papers,
someone else
to help
pass.
someone else.
I
pass.
swapped the
Yeah.
tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, you were a little shit at like age 8,
I
weren't you?
did it to get in a friends group.
Made to.
All right,
Was
no
made to.
apologies.
3.
What wonderful thing did Jono do that the whole town was talking about it?
He saved someone from drowning at the beach.
Wow.
Just ran out there.
Yes, just happened to be walking along the beach. Like, as the story goes, he was just on a bit of a walk on a weekend, and there was a kid that had decided to go out for a swim without the parents there. They just got trapped in some.
You know what? It was one of the few times that he could get away from like looking after his sister.
Yeah,
And he had to save another kid
Yeah,
instead.
yeah,
And he was like, I'm just going to get out of the house. I'm going to go to the beach. I actually just want to be on my own.
and the
Perfect.
kid got trapped in some seaweed, and
It was a riptide.
yeah,
Yeah.
riptide. There you
Yep.
go.
Strong time. All right. Moving on.
Hi there. Ellen.
Eric,
Okay.
roll
I-
a D20
I
for me.
roll a
And we're
D20.
going to be asking questions about your relationship with Jono here.
Okay.
Positive first.
I rolled a 13.
Lucky 13.
Mm-hmm.
What about this character, Jono, makes you happy?
Jono is kind to me, and that makes me happy.
Perfect.
Just he's never ever taken a strong tone with you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's
Never,
just
ever.
like he speak. Oh, you know what? Let's be a little more specific with that. His voice is nice to listen to. When Jono speaks, it's like,
That's nice.
yes.
All right.
Just watches over you.
Perfect. Roll another D20 for me. This is a negative
11.
question about Jono. What does this character do that makes you immediately lose your temper?
I'm going to knock back that question. I'm sorry. I
No,
don't
that's all good.
think it
think you
works
have-
for Eric because he's too laid back. He's too easygoing. He's
Yep.
too cool
Yeah.
under pressure.
Should we roll again?
Yeah. That's a 1.
What did this character do in the past that you still resent them for? Think as well. You are teens.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
doesn't need to necessarily be
It's not biggest
life
world.
shattering.
Yeah. It's how Jono appeared. when he first moved. When did you move over?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. When you first moved in, you were too cool. You instantly became a lot of people's friends, and
And that's something you'd struggled with.
and there wasn't that transitional time. You just did it too well. You're too good at everything.
Effortless.
And that kind of effortlessness before we became friends was a resentment, a source of resentment.
No, you do know Dickie.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll roll.
Yeah. You're like linchpin. You have a strong connection.
18. I rolled
When did you first realize that you loved this character?
when Dickie was being ignored by the rest of his family, and Eric was a source of familial structure in the home that Dickie could talk to him. That it's like, oh, you're like a little brother to me.
So maybe was it like this particular moment when you like arrived at the house for your lesson one day, and
I think
Dickie was pleased to see you.
I think it was like lesson 3 where Dickie finally like told him about the first mystery.
Yeah.
And he's like, you beckoned me into like a bedroom and showed me like a secret drawer, and you're like, look, I got a newspaper clipping, and I'm like, oh, this kid's all right.
He opened up to you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Remember that Prime Minister?
Roll a d20.
16.
How far would you go to make this character suffer?
Not far at all.
That can be the answer.
Would you even pull a prank on him? Or could you not bear to see Dickie suffer at all?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, Dickie shouldn't suffer. He's a small kid. Yeah.
Perfect. And that these are just questions to kind of
Yeah.
Launch off, yeah.
Yeah, great.
There was a very strong reaction, right?
Yeah.
No.
Perfect.
I like little Dickie.
Jono.
I
I'm going to
stuffed your
start
test up.
with for Eric. 16.
What would losing this character mean to you?
I think there's a certain amount of like investment
Yep.
that Jono has in Eric. Like he is really making an effort to help this peer out and give him a chance in school, and like maybe he doesn't know exactly what's happening at home, but like there's that vibe that Eric needs some support.
Yep.
Like it's intuitive. Mm-hmm. And if he lost that, I think it's not so much, oh, I've wasted all this effort, but like the more you invest in someone, the more you give to them, the more it means if they were to fail or go away or go off track.
Yeah, because he's a protective guy.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to protect people and not have the chaos of life knock them around.
Yeah, it would be a personal failure for him.
Yeah. All right, roll another d20.
5.
What does this character have that you want to take from them? This could be temperament, but it could also be a physical thing.
The elixir of life.
I think that's it. I think he's strong and fit.
Right.
Can run. That's not something I have that Jono has at all. Right? And sometimes he worries that will hinder his ability to protect, especially Isabel.
Right.
But he wants that strength, that actual bodily strength. Because look at him. He's just naturally long-limbed and capable.
Seems effortless.
Yeah, that's
you
reflected,
both have
right?
that effortless problem with each other.
I have like an effortless way of dealing with people and bringing them in because I'm kind to them. But he has an effortless kind of command of his body, which I really struggle with. I'm not coordinated in that way.
Well, what about Dickie? So we're going to ask a question about a character you don't know.
8.
Based on what you know, how is this character different from the rest of their family?
Mine just works in a completely different way. It's like he comes from a different planet almost. It's really weird. And Jessica just hates this kid. I'm sorry, like you probably don't know this, but like the way she talks about you is like really horrible. You know how like teenagers can be just like fucking horrible, and you know how people can be really horrible to their family, especially. So he's really different from her. She's like a wannabe, wants to be really cool, wants to be loved. And mum is like very studious and very kind of grounded
just trying her
person.
best.
Trying her best. And she's grounded as well. Whereas Dickie is like flights of fancy and imagination. And yeah, that's a little bit like his mum. She likes English, she likes literature and stuff, but not to this extent. No. He is just like wildly different from the two of them.
He's like a bit of a sponge as well.
She would, and the thing is, like, she would be that sort of person, but she's just tired. Like between like having to be full time at school and try and look after two kids who won't look after each other. One's too young and the other doesn't
Always
want to.
Fighting, right? Yeah.
Like she's burning the candle at both ends, so she can't give him that part of her personality that she otherwise would.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of covered how you guys all fit together like a strange jigsaw piece. Now we're going to put the finishing touches. We are going to go through your full name, your full character name.
Eric Mawson.
Eric
Mawson. Son of Kelly and Kenneth Mawson.
Sean, you got one?
You know what mine is.
What are do you want to tell everyone or no?
No, it's just funny, just based exactly on what Chris said.
Yeah.
Dickie Morse.
Oh, no. I'll change then. We're not
That's
doing
fine.
the Mawsons and the Morse.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll figure something else out.
Well, I almost wanted to go as generic as possible, right? I'd go Smith, but you know what that makes my father?
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
No relation.
Yo.
I mean, he's not. It's the 70s.
Yeah.
He's not around yet.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to go Smith?
I don't know. Is that too?
I-
is that too distracting?
I
for
like
people?
it. I'd go with it.
Nah, let's go.
He can be William, right? Maybe he just goes by
Or
William.
Bill.
Yeah.
Or Bill. Bill Smith.
Bill Smith.
Bill Smith.
Yeah.
No
and
affiliation.
and that makes me John Smith.
John Smith.
And I really like that idea.
Yeah.
It's just unremarkable.
Yep.
It's John Smith.
Yeah.
Perfect. Chris, shall we come back at another time?
Eric Fisher. So Kelly and Kenneth Fisher.
Beautiful. Now, these are questions that you don't have to answer here on our episode 0. I will know them regardless. I will take them from you.
Rip them from us.
If forcibly, if need be. But each of your characters has a motivation, something that drives maybe not all of their actions, but most of them, and they have a fear. So you can tell it to us on the podcast, or you can keep it to yourself. I'm going to leave it up to you. So, Sean,
Yeah. I'll give my motivation because I've already alluded to it, but I'll keep my fear under wraps,
Cool.
as it were. The motivation is to find his dad.
to find his dad.
Yep.
Chris, Eric,
I'm going to keep both fear and motivation private.
fantastic. Jono,
I think Jono's motivation's pretty clear, and that's to protect Isabel. You know, and it's family in general, to look after them. And then I think his fear is private.
now a little final question: what have you got in your backpack?
Pocket dictionary.
So he'd always have a pocket dictionary on him. Maybe he'd have some other kind of books, depending on the day as well.
Yeah, he might chuck another book
But
in
he
there. Whatever
usually
takes his
keeps
fancy at a
something
time.
to read.
Whatever he's reading at that point in time, he'll
Yep.
keep in there with him.
Yep.
I'd have to have a bit of a think what else is in there.
Yeah, all good.
Swiss Army knife.
A Swiss Army knife for Jono.
Yeah. Just to...
Like a Leatherman.
yeah, that sort of thing.
Eric?
Eric has a water bottle.
Fantastic. It's a good bloody
Practical.
thing to have in Australia in the middle of summer. Anything else?
You can have abstract things, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sense of adventure.
He's got a water bottle and he has a hairband to push his rapidly growing hair out of his face.
For when he's running.
For when
Yeah,
he's running.
so it's stuff
Yeah,
for
yeah.
his running.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
Your shoes, running
No.
shoes? No?
He runs barefoot.
Oh, wow, cool. I have another one.
Yes?
This one's more abstract. Goodwill.
And goodwill. So he
Goodwill.
would probably have, possibly when he's thinking about what he's going to throw in his backpack, he might think, this might come in handy in case anyone needs one. I've
Yeah.
got an extra apple or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll chuck it in the bag. In
Thinks
case
of
anybody-
others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this from my own life from when I was a kid. His glasses are in there.
His glasses.
He tries not to wear them because they make him look like a nerd. But he needs them more than he likes to let on. So he always keep them in his bag, but he doesn't always wear them.
Oh, if this is going to be slightly abstract, then here's one for Eric. His bag has a hole in it because it's old
Yep.
and hand-me-down, so a few things have fallen out.
I love that because that might hinder you at a
Yeah,
good
I
storytelling
might.
moment. Oh, I've got this in my backpack. Oh, no, you don't.
No,
Nah,
don't.
you lost it several kilometers ago. That's
also-
right. We use kilometers.
He also definitely has a flashlight
And a
because he goes
flashlight.
adventuring a lot. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
tries to, go discover.
Perfect. Guys, we have our characters.
Woo! Dickie
I'm-
time.
So excited for when we launch this thing. I think one of the really cool things about Kids on Bikes is this experience here where we get to jump off of each other and we really feel like we all have a hand in crafting this town, these characters, these relationships together. And now we have to see what I'm going to do with them.
Hell yeah.
Maybe
We'll find out
for
next
ill
week.
or good.
There's one aspect I think you should really quickly touch on. It might be a nice kind of teased at the end.
Yes, you won't know it right off the bat, you little rapscallions. You will...
I don't want to know anything about this.
No, but it's part of every game.
In the game.
Yeah, but I don't want to... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the game, there are powered characters. Not you. You guys are just kids.
Oh.
But there are things out there that have supernatural powers, abilities, and aspects. And when you encounter these creatures, this becomes a shared thing for you all to control. You all get to have a say in what this powered character does or what trait of their character will pop up at any given time.
I can't wait to see who they are.
But you never know until it's there.
11.
It's a drop bear.
It's a bloody drop.
It's actually my favorite aspect of this game. Just this collaborative powered character that pops in at some point.
But it totally fits in with the theme of, you guys we're all working together and we're all kind of crafting this from the inside out. It's very exciting. I'm super excited. I think Australian Gothic is a genre that I don't see enough of, and I'd love to, and I think it works so well for role-playing in particular.
So good. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
You kids better be ready to get your hands dirty.
To get on our bikes.
For Roll to Cast, Season 5, A Mystery Down Under.
Tooroo.
Well, hooroo, and be off to your billabong.
On your bikes.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Roll to Cast, Mystery Down Under is a Baby Beard media production. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Discord. And all our podcasts are on Spreaker, Spotify, YouTube and all good podcatchers. You can support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/babybeard. Kids on Bikes and all associated properties are trademark of Renegade Game Studios. Used with permission.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Looking for a Fallout audio drama? It's True Vault Escapades. That's right, follow the death-defying adventures of Detective Walter Camry and his Vault Girl Bunny as they solve the wasteland's biggest mysteries. From the dramatic Texas prologue to the high-stakes world of New Vegas, Walter and Bunny risk it all to crack everything from murders, slaver syndicates, and corruption at the highest level in post-nuclear America. True Vault Escapades. It's a Fallout show with a detective twist. Look for True Vault Escapades wherever you get your podcasts.